We're back at Tech Tuesdays. Sorry for our slightly longer than usual break, but we're here. We got a lot more good show to go.
Yes.
With me and brother Ellaway. This segment, we always start out letting people know some good events going on around the city and around the country in technology. So for those of you interested in blockchain, and I'm sure we've all heard of blockchain. I'm sure some people understand it better than others, but I think we all could learn a lot more about it. And I will say this as a preliminary, a very intelligent sister that was at our Rolling Out Innovation and Digital Entertainment Conference 2 months ago suggested that she believes blockchain will have as big an impact on the world in 25 years as the internet did in the past 25 years. And you know, most people go, what? How could anything have that big an impact? Mm-hmm. But when you really learn more about what blockchain is, it means that instead of the bank having your financial information, it's that you have it encrypted and it's across thousands of computers on a network. So that if someone hacks one of those computers, if the other 900,000 thousands of computers don't all agree that those dollars were supposed to be moved, then those dollars don't get moved. Mm. So a person hacking 1 or 10 or X number of computers doesn't create the same liability. And the other thing about blockchain and what it does from a security standpoint is it tracks a piece of, and I just saw an IBM commercial the other day and they were showing packages that might get touched 200 times from the time they were produced to when it finally gets to the final consumer.
Right.
What blockchain does is keep track of when it was produced, and it tracks every transaction that a coin, like a Bitcoin or like a package or anything else, goes through. So all these computers all over the world are actually know every transaction. So if I go to sell something to Ellaway, mm-hmm. those computers all go back to the very beginning of when the dollar I'm trying to use was created and says, yes, this is the chain of events for that dollar from the day it was created. And they all have to agree on the chain before it goes into his account and they agree that I had it and was able to give it to him. I mean, the security level, and it's encrypted, by the way, of course. So it's all encrypted during that time. So I'm buying a piece of real estate from him, let's say. Now, guess what? Here's where blockchain really comes into additional effect. How do I know he owns it? I'm in Atlanta. He's in Dubai. He's selling me $1 million piece of property. Neither of us have to go to a bank. I don't have to go to his title company because my information is in the blockchain. He says, yep, Randy's crypto dollars, Bitcoins, whatever kind of dollars they are, the blockchain says it's good, it's really his, mm-hmm. and it's being transferred to me. Likewise, the title on his property. If it's built on the blockchain, I know that there's thousands of computers that have all watched every transaction that property has ever had, and they all are telling me that, yes, it's his property, and now we're going to release it to you, Randy. You have control. It's really yours. So that's really what blockchain does. It has a complete history of things. And so in terms of applications, he and I could buy his $1 million piece of property in Dubai from Atlanta and never use a bank. My money, he knows is good. His property title, I know it's good. Mm-hmm. That's a completely different paradigm shift from any way that people currently do business. Without any centralized bank or institution, which is one of the reasons why people are concerned about Bitcoins and like, what are they really worth and who's controlling it? Right. You know, it's not a person controlling it. It's not a government. So there's a lot of concerns with international people moving money because with Bitcoins or cryptocurrency, you're able to move, let me cut that. You're able to move money or any other products in a totally decentralized way. So your health information, instead of your health information being at a particular doctor's office or a particular hospital or a particular computer somewhere, I'm just going to turn this down. It's all over, but it's with you. It's encrypted. Mm-hmm. And so if you're my provider, okay, if you're my provider and I come to you, I'm able to give you my decryption information, and now you're able to see my information.
The fact is decentralized is a major
huge.
component of that, because
Huge.
with the banks and various institutions like Target, Home Depot getting hacked as they have in the past, I mean, that's starting to make people's trust in these financial institutions a little bit wavering, you know? So it may take a couple more years for it to catch on completely, but I really feel like that's going to be the next wave. I mean, we already saw the Bitcoin wave took over for the past, beginning of this year?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So there's a Hilton blockchain event coming up on Thursday, November 15th, this Thursday from 7 to 9 at the DoubleTree Suites by Hilton at the Galleria. For those of you here in Atlanta, Jay Bradley Hilton, who's is of the Hilton family, and he's president of Legion Capital Corporation. He and the Hilton Institute of Business are putting on an all-day panel. Well, is it all day or is it? Okay. Well, it says 7 to 9. My apologies. Some of the topics they're going to talk about is cryptocurrency and blockchain, what has happened, what is happening, and what the future holds for the cryptocurrency market. You can go to Eventbrite and just search for Hilton Blockchain Event, and you can RSVP. This coming Saturday, November 17th, there's a Global Day of Code retreat by an organization called Greater Sum at 150 Otley Drive Northeast, Suite 150, Atlanta, Georgia, 30324. Some coding experience is required to participate. So, of course, developers are encouraged to attend. It is not a Learn to Code event. There's a $15 deposit, and if you attend, your money will be refunded. If you choose not to attend, your money will go to a local code-related charity. To register, you can go to coderetreatatl.com, C-O-D-E, retreatatl.com. And for most of you may know, DreamHack is this week, which is a very large gaming and esports conference at the World Congress Center, at the Georgia World Congress Center, November 16th to 18th. You can go to dreamhack.com/Atlanta. They've got big prizes up to $1 million for teams of gamers that will be there competing. Game developers will be there. It's a big conference. I've never been, but I think I'm going to stick my head in.
I was going to say, what kind of game are they playing? What game are they playing? Because I go to the one.
All of them. There's some $300,000 prizes for certain games for the championship teams. There's $1 million prize. I mean, all the online games that people are familiar with.
You know how crazy that is?
These are there'll be viewers. I'm sure they'll be streaming it. I'm sure there'll literally be. Many people don't realize there's as many people watching people game as there are watching people play basketball.
Absolutely. I mean, when I went to the one at Turner, they were playing Street Fighter, right? Okay. Street Fighter 5. This dude won, I think it was $1 million purse, playing Street Fighter. Imagine if they had Nintendo, like Mario Brothers, you know, or Duck Hunt back in the day. I could have won at least a few $100,000.
Something, right?
You got something. You know, Super Mario 3, something. You know, but that's crazy. Do you know how to code at all?
I don't. Not a coder at all. Not in the least.
It's funny. Like over this past summer, I actually led a coding initiative where we taught minority kids at Morehouse, Spelman, Clark how to code. That was
cool.
I think it was an 8-week intensive. You know, every Saturday we would meet and teach them how to code, and it was a pretty cool initiative.
Good. Sign me up for the next one.
Listen, you can come on down.
Sign me up for the next one.
Come on down.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun. I always. It's not what I did at Georgia Tech, but I love statistics and things and programming. Actually, I do like I did do some programming,
so
but very little. But I liked it. I enjoyed programming. You know.
Perfect.
So a couple other trending topics we've got. Were there any events that you knew about coming up?
Yeah, actually, speaking of coding, it was actually just dropped. So what it was, I created a group where we wanted to get Google certified. So Google Analytics certified, Google AdWords certified. Still open. If you want to get in it, just let me know. But there was a Google event coming up, Google Sandbox, where that's going to be on Thursday and Friday, I believe. Thursday and Friday, I believe.
Okay.
Somebody got to fact check that for me. But I'll be in attendance on that. And then tomorrow, though, the sign-up is for Flatiron. They're doing a coding initiative, totally free, just teaching you how to code, very basic skills. But it is tomorrow. So if you want to figure out how that is, let me know. I will send you the link. Totally fine. We're all about opportunities here.
Cool.
You know.
Good deal.
Yeah.
So this past week we had an election here in Georgia. You know, it's there may yet be a recount. A lawsuit was filed yesterday. You know, one of the things that came out somewhere in the midst of it were accusations of
The hacking thing.
the hacking. Yes.
I was like, really? You think she's gonna hack this?
That she, you know, and it's just interesting now that this is the second time in a row, because we've got to realize during the presidential election there were all kind of accusations of hacking and manipulation, and a lot of it we know turned out to be true,
right,
by outsiders outside the country. But I think this one here falls real flat.
Absolutely.
Even though when I read in depth, what happened is an attorney simply contacted the Secretary of State, the appropriate person, who happened to also be the person running for one of the two parties for governor, and told him that a person had come to him and said, hey, I was able to see this particular information that probably I shouldn't have been able to see about a particular voter, about any voter, and does that lead me into a place where I could do something else with their information? You know, and you should check it, because I really shouldn't be able to get this far.
Absolutely.
And somehow by the time it hit the public, it was, you know, Party A accusing Party B of hacking the voting process, or booths or servers. And but when I read into it, I believe, just for those of you who don't know, haven't heard any outcomes on it, nothing there. Like, it's pure smoke.
Let me ask you this, though. Where are we at with the election? Like, because as an alpha, voteless people as a hopeless people was one of our initiatives that we deal with. So I was really big on getting people to the polls. Things happened. People voted. Where are we at? We close to a runoff, or we still don't know? Up in the air.
Still don't know.
Day to day.
A lawsuit has been filed, I think, for a runoff. There's, you have to be legally within a certain number of votes of each other for an automatic required recall. There were votes being counted manually in places that they say votes weren't counted.
They found 30,000.
That will bring it, or could bring it, into that requirement.
I was just gonna say that right there, that graphic. See, a lot of votes.
Where are the votes?
So she's saying that 33,000 potential votes. That's a big difference. This is why it's so important people to get out and vote. I mean, the Andrew Gilliam election, they're still counting, but he was down with 50,000 or 20,000, something so small.
These both are in the thousands. I mean, these are.
Nobody got blown out. It could have gone either way. Andrew, he conceded super early, I think.
He did.
I don't understand why he did that, but
no one
the fact that he rescinded
conversation yesterday.
Yeah, he rescinded that, and now he's back recounting those votes, just like Stacey. So we're very hopeful for that. Very hopeful.
I think good things may yet happen.
Oh, yeah.
Another trending topic here. A new study claims data harvesting among Android apps is, quote, out of control. And, most of us understand when we sign up for things, we're a lot of times giving our information away, our data. But this particular study says that 90 researchers at Oxford University, 90% of free apps on Google Play Store share the information with Alphabet, a.k.a. Google. Alphabet's the parent company. So 90% of all the apps, in addition to the information they're already getting from you, as if you got an Android phone, they're not getting enough. But 90% of the apps are sharing information. What do you think about that?
I mean, it gets into a murky pool when we talk about sharing that private information. I mean, I'm not doing anything illegal, but at the same time, I don't want my email going out there, because I get a million spam calls today. I don't know about you guys. I had to, if I see a number that's not 404-678 or 770, sorry. I mean, just leave a message, But I think that the government really has to step in and kind of figure out the best course of action with this data harvesting, because without it, it runs out of control. People are selling your information for thousands of dollars, lead lists,
lead lists,
things like that. Next thing you know, you're getting signed up for this, that, and the third. You don't know how you got on it. My regular Gmail that I've had since college, I mean, I rarely check it now because it's overrun with, just random ads that I didn't sign up for. So something has to be done. I am an Android user, but I mean, I doubt that it's any better over there on Apple.
No, I doubt it. I doubt that. Historically, Apple has not done any better.
You don't get to $1 trillion by just, doing it, giving out information.
No, absolutely. Afrotech was this past weekend. While we're talking about events, I big shout outs to the people that put it on. I consider it a very professional conference. I enjoyed myself. Had a great opportunity to meet some really smart people in the startup space who are doing some interesting things, as well as some people at some major companies doing some things, such as Uber. Shout out to your brother Calvin with Uber, as well as Rick with Uber. I had a chance to meet some people over at Amazon. They were recruiting a lot of black engineers, computer scientists, of course, and in a whole lot of other areas. That's the other thing that was real important that they put across to me, was just because they always have a need for engineers and computer programmers in the tech space, companies like Uber and Amazon certainly have lawyers, accountants, PR people, marketing people, graphics design, videographers. I mean, they're big companies. They got 10,000 employees. They have all kinds of other needs, and they pay very well and are very liberal, kind of great jobs that people, should be thinking about. Even if you're not a programmer, you should really think about the tech space. They're a space that's minorities are underrepresented. Some of the companies are making really sincere efforts to improve that. So just because you're not a coder can't mean you can't be at Amazon, Google, or anywhere else.
Absolutely.
And I do want to shout out to Diamond and Verge at Amazon for being so nice to me at their booth and discussing some things with me. I got a Georgia Tech brother, Darren, that was at Accenture. We interviewed him. You'll be able to see him soon, right on rolling out some of the interviews we did with the people while we were there. And there was a really cool company called Textio that I really liked. The brothers were real nice there. They're about a 100-person startup up in Seattle, and I told them I'd give them props because I really like what they're doing. They're involved in the recruiting space, and when you run an ad to recruit people, their ad is able to. They actually look at your ad, use linguistics, and tell you who that ad is gonna most resonate with.
Really?
Male, female, and age.
Oh, nah.
Based on the words in it. And they'll recommend different words. The program highlights words and says, well, if you're trying to reach males, this particular ad you just ran based on these words is not going to do it.
Are they in beta?
No.
It's not.
No. They won a lot of awards.
I was about to say, I need that. Because in my line of work, I need that.
And it's for recruiting right now is where they start.
Okay.
They'll move into some other areas soon. So my producer here is telling me I've got to wrap it up for this segment. We do have one more segment that's going to be real exciting. We're going to take some questions from the audience. We always do for our third segment. Mm-hmm. So please, if there's anything on your mind that you want to ask Ellaway or myself, drop it on Facebook, and we'll hit you up on this next segment. Peace.
With customizable streaming TV from Xfinity, watch the most free TV shows, hit movies, and live sports on the go. At home, access Netflix, YouTube, and Pandora right from your TV. And with the X1 voice remote, just say it and see it.
Show me HBCU.
With Black Film and TV, watch your favorite college entertainment, HBCU football games, and much more. Xfinity. Simple, easy, awesome.
Hey everyone, it is your favorite politician, Representative Erica Thomas, and I'm excited to tell you about the Erica Thomas Show, where we break down news and politics in layman terms where everybody can understand it. We start off the show with hip hop and politics, where we might interview your favorite celebrity and we break down hip hop and let you know that it's the same thing as politics, baby. And also coming up after that, we have kids and politics, where we bring on your favorite kid stars and they tell us all about how they feel about politics. And then right after that is the hit list, where we tell you about the fails of the week. Who failed this week in the news and who do we need to know about? It's all happening at 6 o'clock every single Tuesday. I said 6 o'clock every single Tuesday. So you better tune in. You better tune in. You better not miss it. I mean, you better not miss it. The Erica Thomas Show is on live.
With customizable streaming TV from Xfinity, watch the most free TV shows, hit movies, and live sports on the go. At home, access Netflix, YouTube, and Pandora right from your TV. And with the X1 voice remote, just say it and see it.
Show me HBCU.
With Black Film and TV, watch your favorite college entertainment, HBCU football games, and much more. Xfinity. Simple, easy, awesome.
We're back for our third segment of Tech Tuesdays. Hope everybody out there is enjoying it so far. When we ended the last segment, now this segment is our engagement segment, so we're going to talk about questions from you guys. But I was kind of in the middle of finishing up talking about Afrotech last week. I shouted out to a few people there and some companies that I thought were doing good things and the people that I had the opportunity to interact with. I did want to mention they're moving it to Oakland, and I do want to compliment Blavity and their team on making that decision because that's really a paradigm shift. And I know their sponsors are all in San Francisco, and we went to happy hours, but it was at the Uber building, or you go to, the other sponsors, you go to their buildings for the evening events. And of course, Oakland's a little distance away. It's not far, but it's, the minimum 20 minutes to 30-minute drive. So, it's going to affect, I'm sure, how they are able to interact with some of their sponsors, et cetera. But a big ups to them for taking it to our people. Oakland is, for anyone in America who doesn't know, it's a very black city. It's a very, very chocolate. Not that it doesn't have some gentrification going on, but the community there has always been very avant-garde. That's the home of the Black Panthers and where they began, and it's a very wonderful city.
Oh, now I'm thinking about the movie Black Panther, and I'm like, why was it in Oakland?
That's where it started. That community has always been a very
stay woke, Marvel,
black city, and so for them to move it there, since it's all about Afrotech and Afro, I think is bold, and I think it's I think it's going to be a good move. I think long term, the community is going to embrace it. There'll be more young people learning about technology.
Absolutely.
It'll be easier. They'll see it. It'll become accessible. They'll meet the people, and I think it'll really be powerful in terms of uplifting that community. So, I just wanted to finish that up before we jumped into our first question of the day. Talk to me.
In what case would the blockchain not agree or not get approved for you to finish the transaction?
Wow, that is a great question, and I'm not an expert. So let me just say, the entire system does not have to agree, but so please do not quote me. But it's maybe again, it's all encrypted, but there's got to be a 99.99 agreement for unless you know the specific number. I don't. For a transaction to proceed. There is and that's one of the things with blockchain. There is a delay of time before transactions happen. Now, it's not a long delay because that's why there's thousands of computers in people's closets all over the world pumping this information. That's all they do is sit there. And that's how even Bitcoin started. People were called miners. You literally could buy a powerful computer, put it in your closet, connect it to the internet, connect it to the chain, and become a miner. And they give you 1/1000th of a penny every time your computer processes a transaction. And so, but your computer is sitting there 24 hours a day processing literally billions of steps in transactions, and you were paid in Bitcoin. So the first people who were getting Bitcoins were the miners. That's what they were mining for the money. And that was one of the ways Bitcoins started growing.
Yeah.
And, at the price Bitcoin is today, the first, Bitcoin was purely digital, meaning, there were miners, but it was in games. People could use it. You could pay to do things. but it was only in games. It was gaming. And then one day, a programmer in the middle of the night didn't have much money, and he offered some Bitcoin for a pizza.
I mean,
and some guy in England like received what would be today several $1 million for calling up Domino's for him and having a pizza show up at the guy's place.
wow.
Literally, yeah. So again, things do change, but those were, that's how it started.
So the early pioneers of Bitcoin started this movement by buying a pizza.
Yeah, that was the first time it came to the real world. That's
I
the
love
first time they realized we could take this game coin and that someone would pay us for it. Someone would pay us out here in real stuff so they could get a few more of these, to game with or to do with that, the other things that it was being used for. So I guess, it's kind of funny, because, when I first thought about it, I'm like, how do you take something that's just imaginary in games but make it money? But that's what they've done. And so, again, Bitcoin is a separate thing from blockchain. It's just the blockchain is the technology that Bitcoin uses. There are other coins that use blockchain technology. There are now IBM tracking packages using blockchain technology. So it's that same technology that can do the things we were talking about earlier, like your driver's license, your medical history, all your banking information. It's encrypted and you have it. It's not at the bank downtown. So, but a great question. I don't know a specific answer. Maybe we can Google it. Maybe we can look it up. Maybe we can all come to, and if you're in Atlanta, I suggest go to the Hilton conference. Ask someone there who specializes in Bitcoin, what they think about it. I think we have another question.
Last question. This question is for Ellaway. What advice would you give someone who is on their 148th interview?
Honestly, keep going. I know this is a lot of things I'm saying is cliche, but you have to apply that to your life, honestly. For me, getting that rejection was fine. It does suck in the beginning, especially after like 30 or 40 times. But keep learning, sit in front of the screen and just absorb professionals, download ebooks, visit websites, YouTube. I mean, in 2006, when YouTube came out, I was in college and we were looking at cat videos, just that's pretty much all we were doing. Now we can use this as a source of information to grow not only our capabilities, but just expand our brands in general. Like this video here can be used to pump out information all over the place. What I'm saying could qualify myself as a professional or a thought leader in what I'm talking about, and a company across the country could see this and say, well, let's talk to him about an opportunity. I mean, it's at this point, you have to keep pushing, keep finding new ways to innovate yourself, and I assure you the opportunity will come. But what I will say to a lot of people, there's nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5 job. I mean, there's really nothing wrong to it. I mean, you can do it either way. My friends that have 9-to-5 jobs make way more than me. But the thing is what I'm doing with this education, this knowledge, I'm able to have my freedom to do and innovate myself, right? I'm able to create opportunities that I wouldn't normally have. If I was still at Lyft, I would have to cancel this interview. I couldn't make it, right? Because I'm at work, right? But being in the month that I've been out here, I was at a Facebook event. Tomorrow I have a Google event. I was at this interview, and it allows me to expand my brand. So at some point, I will catch those that make way more than me. It's just a matter of putting in that work and never giving up. And that applies to the same exact way of you going to these different interviews and getting that rejection. Don't let that stop you. Try for the next one. Keep going.
One opportunity he didn't mention that he has is to fail.
Boy, the opportunity to fail.
The opportunity to fail. And, people start businesses and do fail. It doesn't make them bad people. It doesn't make them stupid. Doesn't mean they're not hardworking. Sometimes it makes them smart. In the tech space, most people, the adage is fail fast. So if you're starting a new business, in particular if it's like app-based, fail fast. Get it out in the marketplace. See if people want the product as much as you think they do, because that's one of the big traps that startups fall into all the time. They love it, think it's the greatest thing ever, but that doesn't mean that the public is willing to pay for it and that it can be a business. So it can be a great game. I like playing spades, but I might not,
Space champion.
I could be, but I'm pretty good. But that doesn't mean I want to pay necessarily, on a regular basis, and I'm going to sign up for spades and buy an app for spades.
Now,
I'm not.
Randy, can I tell you something real quick? Can I say that this is my fourth business?
I really play big whist more, but go ahead.
This is my fourth business, right? And a lot of people don't know that. I mean, this is a lot of new stuff for a lot of people, right? The first one was the co-working space, sold that, right? Then I had two other businesses, T-shirt line, and then a nonprofit processing agency.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna slow you down.
Yeah.
See, and some of y'all who think of business people, wow, he sold that business. That didn't mean he sold it for a profit and had no money. It means he got out the door.
Trying to get out. I was just trying to
I've
get out.
been there and done it. So, you know,
but no, that's true.
You know, be real.
And the thing is, when you talk about even startup capital for a business, a lot of people tell me, well, I don't have the capital. I wish I could start a business, but I just don't have the capital. Let me tell you something. My sister, who's in Atlanta here, Francesca Amiker, she's on NBC Morning Rush. Hey, Sierra. She went to Vanderbilt. I worked at Enterprise at the time before I started an entire co-working space in Los Angeles, California, right? Those are two opposite sides of the country, right? So I would rent a cargo van. I would say, Francesca, when is class out? She'd say, on this day. I said, cool, I'll be there. I would take the van, drive from Georgia, and drive through the mountains of Tennessee to Vanderbilt. I would go pick up the books from every dorm that people were going to throw away. I would bring those books back to Atlanta, and I would manually, because there wasn't no scan and go, manually input them in Amazon. This is back when Amazon was still doing books, just books, right? Made $1,000, $2,000 off of that, and I would keep going to different schools and pick up books, and that's how I got my startup money. So when someone in 2018 says, I just don't have the capital, I say, do you have a car? Yeah. What year is it? 2014? Oh, okay, so Lyft and Uber is an option, or you could charge line bikes, or you can be Instacart, or you can do anything. But just say I don't have the money to do it, that's not a reason anymore.
Right, and it's a reason for you maybe not to be an entrepreneur.
Exactly.
Everybody can't and shouldn't be one. Maybe it's that might be your wake-up call that this isn't the time for you to be an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurs fail.
All the time.
I forget, 4 out of 5 businesses, small businesses, startup businesses, go out of business within 5 years, 3 years, whatever. Restaurants is like in 2 years.
But the
4
main
out
thing
of 5
is,
go out of business.
the main thing is, what did you learn though? Right? I learned a lot. When I first started that first business, didn't have enough capital. Right? So I had to come back and regroup. Now I have 6 months worth of livable income before I started this business. So if I don't get a single client in them 6 months, I'm gonna be fine.
See?
So
He learned.
learn.
That was that.
Educate and grow. That's my tagline. So
Because the information is here for you.
absolutely.
It's here. Google
Absolutely.
it. It's here.
Google it.
The information is everywhere. And we're gonna take one more break, and then we'll come back for our last 2-minute wrap up.
There we go.
See you soon.
With customizable streaming TV from Xfinity, watch the most free TV shows, hit movies, and live sports on the go. At home, access Netflix, YouTube, and Pandora right from your TV. And with the X1 voice remote, just say it and see it.
Show me HBCU.
With Black Film and TV, watch your favorite college entertainment, HBCU football games, and much more. Xfinity. Simple, easy, awesome.
Hey everyone, it is your favorite politician, Representative Erica Thomas, and I'm excited to tell you about the Erica Thomas Show, where we break down news and politics in layman terms where everybody can understand it. We start off the show with hip hop and politics, where we might interview your favorite celebrity and we break down hip hop and let you know that it's the same thing as politics, baby. And also coming up after that, we have kids and politics, where we bring on your favorite kid stars and they tell us all about how they feel about politics. And then right after that is the hit list, where we tell you about the fails of the week. Who failed this week in the news and who do we need to know about? It's all happening at 6 o'clock every single Tuesday. I said 6 o'clock every single Tuesday. So you better tune in. You better tune in. You better not miss it. I mean, you better not miss it. The Erica Thomas Show is on live.
We're back at Tech Tuesdays. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show so far. We're about to wrap up shortly. But before we do, I'm going to let Ellaway drop a few gems on you, just his kind of closing advice, whether that be for someone going into business or someone in business. Just, he's been successful in a very short time. As he said, he's learned from the failures he's had, learned to pivot, learn to move on, because learning when something's not working is just as important as just sticking with it forever. That's called being dumb. It's not, there's a point that being, what's the word? That continuing to do the same thing is no longer smart versus being, stick with itness. So let's talk about it. Give them your advice.
Man, my gems, honestly, is no matter what you do, right? Whether you're in fitness, whether you're doing makeup, hair, it's important to give information. Just let people know about various things. If you do fitness, right? Show me workouts. Show me meals. Show me various things I could be doing, right? Am I going to do this on my own? Probably not. But you are becoming the foremost authority in this particular industry. A thought leader is what that's called. Right? So it's important to educate people about various things. That's how you grow. Like I said, I don't have a website at all, right? But people find me because of my videos. I hashtag them to categorize the videos, and then from the videos, I give that education, and then from there, the preliminary conversations begin. Stick with whatever you're doing. Just because it's not working right now doesn't mean you can't pivot the model and make it work for you, right? Again, this is my 4th business. You think that stopped me? If this one doesn't work, trust me, you'll see me pop up again doing something else.
Right.
But that's how you grow as a business. That's how you stay focused. Believe in yourself. Ask your entrepreneurship friends what they're doing. Stay strong. There are going to be some hard days. Just because you see me riding on bird bikes through Piedmont Park at 1 o'clock in the day, that's cool and all. But just know I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I go to sleep at 10 o'clock at night. They don't know about all that, right?
Oh, yeah.
They see the glitz and glamour of being here, getting interviewed. That's great. But just know you're going to put in that work. And you're going to earn that success that you're going to get.
Great. No, thank you. And that's also important. The other thing I always like to tell everybody who's thinking about going in business, get a group. Some people call it a mastermind group. Some people call it a board of directors, board of advisors. But I think you should have a formal group of people, not necessarily smarter than you, but more experienced than you, that you meet with every quarter, no less than every quarter. Because it's very easy as an entrepreneur to tell yourself, well, I'm working on this. We got this new marketing plan. But when you've got to sit there and tell 3 other people, 5 other people, here's the new plan, here's how great it's going to be, and then 3 months later, sit in front of them and explain why it didn't work, because every plan doesn't work.
Pivoting.
But at least it's real feedback that, hey, maybe this isn't what you thought it was, this particular idea. Like you say, time to pivot. Because, people see their business as their baby. They're never going to let it go. And so other people who are experienced and have your best interests at heart, but aren't your close friends usually. These need to be kind of people separated from you. But in a formal way, you report to them. It gives you someone to report to and be accountable to, who can give you real business advice about the success, failure, and changes that you need to make in your business. So they're going to say, you're still not making that money you said you were going to make. There's a problem. And they help you grow to get to where you need to be.
Absolutely.
It's been another Tech Tuesday. We can't wait until next week. I've got another exciting guest coming. I got a couple gadgets we're going to show. And,
check me out on Instagram. My name is Ellaway, but on Instagram, you can type in EAZY_marketing04. Easy marketing. Because everything's easy.
Easy marketing.
Yeah.
Love it. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No, seriously, thank you. I appreciate this, for real.